Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darson Chauskas. Today's the 30th of July 2018, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's afternoon session. I do apologize for my voice, but before we actually start jumping into the charts, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content of this webinar does not constitute an investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Also, just a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers website and specifically our JFD research where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis. We throw out different different topics here, so you definitely can feel free to check us out, and I believe you can find something useful here for yourselves, guys. So but right now let's have a look at the charts. So the first one I want to touch on, guys, is the Shanghai Composite. Now, this one is at an interesting spot here right now. So as you can see, overall, yep, the trend is still kind of to the downside, where it's getting held here by this downwards moving trend line that has been running since the peak of the 29th of January. And now, of course, also we've created this little shorter term upside support line that started on the in the beginning of July, so around the 6th of July. And now we're, like I said, we're kind of getting squeezed here. So probably it's building up for a nice pop either to the upside or a break here to the downside. So certainly this is where we're going to have a look at right now. So with these potential scenarios, so certainly if this upside support line, the short-term upside support line, is going to hold, and we might see something like a move like this, basically, where we're going to see a nice bounce off of it, and then we're going to aim and test the downside resistance line. So if we get a break here, if we get a nice break and a close above this downside resistance line, and of course, and in addition to that, we get a nice close above the 2940 level. Now this could be interesting for the bulls, and you could probably see more bulls jumping in here and trying to drive this one a little bit higher, maybe at least even towards this 3040 level, which acted as a nice area of support here around the 30th of May, and then as well on the around the 18th of April. So guys, so could be a nice potential area for a test, but only if we get a nice break here above this line, above this downwards moving trend line, and of course this level here at around 2940. On the downside, for us to kind of start examining lower levels, we need to see a nice good clear break here and a close below this short-term upside support line. But to be honest, this is where we're, even if we get this nice close below, this is where we're gonna aim for these levels first, because we might get rejected here and we might get a reversal back to the upside, forming something like a double bottom, of course. But of course, I might be getting ahead of myself a little bit, but nevertheless, this could be a possibility. So that's why we are looking at if we get a break here below this upside support line, initially target the this area here between the 2722 and the 2695, approximately there. So basically around the nice even number of 2700. So something around here could be a nice potential area for support. But if that doesn't hold, well, we could start looking at lower levels. We could start positioning ourselves maybe even for a touch of this 2640. Now the 2640, just kind of scrolling back a little bit here, we can see that it was a nice area of support here back in 2016. So a very important level to keep an eye on, the 2640. It acted as a nice area of support here around the 29th of February and around the 27th of January. So keep an eye on that level, but only if we get a nice break here below this area that I was just talking about between the 2722 and the 26.95. So keep an eye on this one, guys. This could play out as a very nice trade here. Let's see what happens with this one. Looking at silver now, this is one of the commodities that's actually right now trading sideways a little bit, but nevertheless kind of still continues to try and it's trying to climb higher here. But let's actually, of course, the question here is that going to succeed? But to be honest, for us to kind of become more bullish on this one, we would need to see a nice break here above the 15.625 mark, and well, actually not only a break but also a close above this level. And another good indication could be if we get a nice close above this 21 EMA here, shown as the yellow line. So potentially if we get a nice break here above and a nice close here above these two, then well, this could open the path back up here, maybe even towards the this trend line, this trend line that has been running here since around the mid-December to last year. So could be a potential area for a test, but only if we get a break here above this 15.625, and then we start taking out slowly these higher resistance levels at around 15.75, and then of course the 15.98 mark. So, or you can actually round it up here nicely towards the 16 mark, so something like that, guys. So keep an eye on it, keep an eye on these levels. Certainly for now this is looking more bearish than bullish, and at the moment, if this, let's say, holds again, if this 15.625 continues to hold, then well, I mean, we could see another drop here towards the 15.20 mark, and where the 15.20 mark acted as a very nice area of support here recently, and also here in 2017 July last year. So also proved to be a very important area here. But if we get a break here below, well, all eyes are on this level right here, then the 1440 approximately there. Let me just kind of adjust this quickly, and 14.40 acts as a very strong area of support here. You can see that from which it reversed here on the 7th of July last year. The price reversed sharply back up here, so it created this low, which now kind of is on our radar, but probably we're gonna start considering it only if we get a nice break here below the 15.20. So guys, for now, keep an eye on this little area. Let's see which way is it gonna break. Let's have a look at the one of the pairs now, the Euro Aussie. So giving it a nice push here today, getting a nice push, of course. We can see that it's stuck here within this little range here between the 157 mark and the 158.75 zone. So certainly keep a close eye on it. We can see that it's currently now testing the 158.100 level. That's quite an important area here. Let me jump into the 4-hour chart just to kind of see the levels here. So we can see that the 158.100 acted as a very nice area of resistance here in the recent past, actually. So on the 25th last week, last Wednesday, it acted as a very nice area of resistance, and now we're currently testing that level, and of course all eyes are on this. Let's see if we're going to break above it or not, and if we do get a nice close today above this level, then well, I mean, this could be looking positive for the pair, and we could end up maybe moving towards this upper bound of the range around the 158.75 mark. So keep an eye on this one, guys. Keep an eye on the close, today's close, of course. Certainly at the moment this is looking more to the bullish side, and if this is going to stay like this, then yep, like I said, we could start considering the 158.75. Now if, let's say, suddenly we reverse back down here and close below the 157.85 mark approximately there, well, stay sharp here, guys, because we could maybe see a bit of retracement again, or maybe a little bit of a drop here lower, from which maybe we could see a reversal back to the upside. So basically at this point in time, because it's kind of moving sideways a little bit, so just be careful with the downside as well, and especially, like I said, just judging by this current strong activity, this buying activity here, be careful with the downside. For us, let's say, to become more bearish on this one, we would need to see a nice move here below this 157 mark, and if we see a nice break here and a close on the daily chart below this 157 mark, now this is where it could become more interesting, and we could maybe start positioning ourselves for lower levels here. So for now, certainly the way it's shaping up right now, it seems to be more bullish than bearish. So keep an eye on the 158, 100 guys. Let's see where it wants to close today. Let's jump into one more pair, and that's going to be GBPCAD. Now GBPCAD is stuck here in this little zone, in this little territory below this downside resistance line here that has been running since around the 22nd of June, and up but just slightly above this key area of support here at around 170.55 mark. Now certainly, as you can see, we could maybe see a bounce here, judging by this line that I drew here. We could maybe see a bounce here and maybe another push higher towards the towards this downside resistance line for a test. And certainly also that level is around here, around this 170 level, so a very good potential area of resistance. So if this continues to hold, we could maybe even see a rejection here and then another test of the 170.55 mark. Now this is of course at the moment just predictions, because at this point in time we need to see either a nice clear break above this downside resistance line in order to kind of position ourselves for a higher move, or we would need to see a nice clear break and a close below this level right here, the 170.55, so that we could start examining these lower levels. And on the downside, we do have a good potential area of support here at around 169.25 mark, and of course slightly below that we do have the 167.60 zones, well, support zone, which acted as a very nice area of support here on the 5th, around the 5th of January this year. So keep an eye on this one, guys. Keep an eye on this territory. On the upside, if we get a break here, well, keep your eyes then on this 173 mark. Could play out as a nice initial area of resistance, but if that doesn't hold, it is opening the path towards these higher levels. But of course, let's not over speculate too much here, and let's see what it wants to do with these lines first. I mean, if it wants to break this downwards moving trend line, or actually does it want to break this support line, this key horizontal support line. And the last pair that I really wanted to touch on today for this session that's the USDJPY. Now USDJPY continues to trade here below this upside trend line here that has been running here since around the 26th of March, and certainly at this point in time, if just judging by this picture, we could probably assume that it's more bearish than bullish, but to be honest, for us to become start examining, let's say, the lower levels, we would need to see a nice move here, a nice shift below this. Let me just highlight that level here. Oops, there we go, wrong line. There we go, around below this area right here at around 110.600. So this has been a nice area of support seen on the 26th of July. So keep an eye on this one, guys. Keep an eye on a potential break here, if of course we do get a break here below the 110.60, and this could open the path towards lower levels, because it would also place the pair below this 50 EMA here shown as the red line, which like I said, all this could open the path towards these lower levels here. Initially, of course, we would be aiming for the 110.25, and then eventually towards this 200 EMA, or even the lower bound of the Bollinger Band. So certainly, guys, for now, like I said, judging by this picture, we are more bearish than bullish. But if, let's say, this sharply reverses back up here and moves above the 111.40, this could also place the rate above this upside support line again, upside trend line again. So this could be seen as a bullish move here, and we could maybe see a continuation here to the upside, where we could then start aiming for the 112.25 zone, approximately there, and then slightly above that, of course, towards these highs that we saw recently. Let me just adjust that level, guys, for you, and we could maybe start aiming for this area right here at around 113 mark, something like that. So just roughly that area here, because it also like almost coincides here with the upper bound of the Bollinger Band. So something for you guys to keep an eye on, but at the moment, like I said, because we're still below this key key area of resistance here at around 111.40, and we're also below this upside support line. Well, I mean, it could end up moving lower here, but again, for us to become more bearish, we would need to see a nice clear break in a move and a close below this level right here at around 110.60, and this is where we could start, like I said, aiming for lower levels. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you found it useful, and if you want to join me tomorrow morning at my Traders Espresso, and that's 6 o'clock GMT time, 7 o'clock British Summer Time. But for now, I hope you have a good US session for those who are trading it, but for those who are finished the day, have a nice evening. Bye bye.